July 13th meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety. Roll call. Here.
Here.
Here. Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
No.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of May 25th. Anybody get a chance to review those?
Motion to approve the minutes from May 25th.
Second.
A motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Request for advertising dates of July 20th and July 27th with a bid opening date of August 10th for Birch Place, Birch Avenue, 172nd Place lighting. Do I
Motion
have
to
a
approve?
motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against, motion passes. Item B, agreement with First Group Engineering for engineering services in the 165th Street Summer to Kennedy Avenue project. The amount of this contract is $74,830.54. Do I have a motion approving the contract?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item C, correspondence received from 2nd District Councilman Pete Torres requesting $1,430 of gaming funds be allocated for construction material testing at Community Crossing Project on Homan Avenue.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item D, correspondence received from Mayor Tom McDermott, Jr., advising $44,736.82 of the 2017 Mayor's Gaming Funds be allocated to Gatlin Plumbing and Heating for the surface layer of Myrtle from 115th to 117th Street.
I just wanted to let you guys know that we facilitated the allocation, but this is the district's job. We were just helping them out with this part, so we're not actually paying this part. We're just allocating the money for the district.
Okay.
Okay. Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against, motion passes. Item E, correspondence received from 5th District Councilman Dave Warple requesting $25,000 of gaming funds to be allocated to the Park Department for park activities and improvements.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Item F, agreement with NCIC Inmate Communications Incorporated for inmate telephone service.
Did Chris review this?
Do we do this,
She's good? Okay.
have we done it in the past?
Calls?
Yeah, I think so. I just want
Okay.
to make sure Chris saw it. You saw this?
Yes.
Okay.
Hammond sent that over is for the jail zone. We're replacing one system and getting a new.
Okay. Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item G, approvals for street closures received from Hammond Police Department. So this is St. John the Baptist, and what's this one? The First Baptist Church. They were requested.
Good with both of them? Okay. Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item H, demolition hearings on various properties. The first one is 6116 Alexander Avenue.
Good morning, Mr. President and Board. If we could please take item J out of order for Mr. Matthews, who's here on that property at 1204 Lakeview Avenue. I think he's just looking for a new date, but I'll let him.
Thank
That's
you.
J?
Item J, 1204 Lakeview. This is the first setting on this petition.
It's a new.
Yeah, and we've just started talking. We believe we can get it resolved in the next 30 days. So if we could get it set for a status, maybe, I don't know, August 10th or August 17th, something like that.
Four okay? 4 weeks okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Motion to set for status on August 10th.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go back to item H, demolition hearings.
Yes, Mr. President, 6116 Alexander. Is anyone here on that? 6116 Alexander. Mr. President and Board, This is a property which is a single-family home that had a fire. It's boarded up in parts. Given the water's been off since at least 2.5 years now, given the situation and the status of the property, we'd request the order of demolition be affirmed as presented. No one appears. We do have good service.
Motion to affirm the order?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. 1016 Ames.
1016 Ames, I believe Ms. Hall is here today, and she has indicated to both Ms. Cantor and myself that she is prepared to self-demo this property. She does have an agreement with the contractor, and she's attempting to get that moving. I explained to her that it would be the city's position that we would request that the order be entered. We would move forward towards bidding it out, but we would work with her and she would keep us notified, so when the permits are ready to be pulled, the inspections department would let us know, and then we would then work with her to make sure the demolition order is removed once it's demolished by her and her contractor. So, Ms. Hall, you understand we're going to enter the order to demolish it, but you're going to try to self-demo it. We're going to bid it out. It's going to be at least 8 weeks, and that'll hopefully give your contractor time to get it done. Go ahead and state your name and your address.
Kathy Hall, 1016 Ames, that's where the house at. And I have a contractor, DR Site Services, and I had a paperwork, if you need paperwork.
Nope.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
And he's gonna demolish the house. But right now, we waiting on NIPSCO to get the gas together. And I see the water department came out and they draw lines. And NIPSCO put they put the flags and they pull the meters. But we gotta wait till the gas line. My contractor was supposed to be here, but I guess he's somewhere else. But,
Is that contractor licensed?
Yeah.
yes.
Hammond? Okay.
Ms. Hall, do you understand what Attorney Smith has explained today, that we're going to enter the order, but we'll follow up with you and hopefully that you'll be able to get it self-demolished before we would step in?
Yeah, just have your contractor deal with the inspection department, make sure
Okay.
they get the permits. And
Okay.
Mr. Kearney and his folks down there, Mr. Prieto, they'll keep us updated.
Okay. well,
Okay.
Okay.
No, you get another notice for this, but hopefully by that time we'll have it knocked down.
Will they send it to my other address or stuff?
Yeah, you can leave your address with Ms. Cantor.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Motion to enter the order?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. 3133 Carroll.
3133 Carroll. Mr. President, given that no one appears, we do have good service. The condition of the property is one in which it is multifamily. They have rotting doors, the porch is unsafe, the roof's bad, and a lot of debris is inside. It appears to be vacant and abandoned. We would request that, given the condition of the property, that the order of demolition be affirmed as presented to the board.
Motion to affirm the order?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Those against, motion passes. 245 Conkey Street.
245 Conkey. This is, it appears to be owned by an estate. At this time, water is off. The last permit to do any work on the property was 2010. Are you here on that property? Sure. Yeah, you can put it on the table if you want. All right. Are you with the bank or are you with the owner?
Attorney Chris Fox. Good morning, Mr. DeStotney.
Hi, Chris.
Other gentlemen. No, I'm just here to confirm service on the estate. I was able to get a hold of one of the heirs. He had attempted to save the property, and he contacted me by email this morning, very early, indicating that they don't have the funds to rehabilitate. Mattie Brown died in 2006. Foreclosure proceedings were open in 2012. I opened the estate in 2013. This was the only asset. One of the heirs filed bankruptcy to try to get funds together, et cetera, to put towards the house unsuccessfully. So at this point, they have no grounds for an objection to the demolition. My concern is, I know you'll file a lien on the property. I don't know that there's any funds in the estate to pay the city back is the problem.
Well, it's either going to go on tax sale or, if we decide to foreclose. I would want to give this to Mr. Fox and let him know that there are homestead exemptions that remain on the house. So if you could
Right.
So it sounds like Ms. Fox is objecting to the order being affirmed. We would request that given the condition of the property.
Motion to affirm the order?
Second.
Thank
Motion
you.
and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. 936, Conkey?
Okay. 936 Conkey, I believe Mr. Molina's here on behalf of the owner or maybe the neighbor. Apparently, Mr. Molina has correctly pointed out to us that there are two parcels here. One has a garage on it, one has a house on it. The garage is going to be sold to the neighbor. That's what that parcel. And the house, I don't believe Mr. Molina has an objection to us entering the demo order on the parcel with the home on it.
Right, I don't represent the homeowner. Oh, I'm sorry, oh, he's here for it? Okay.
So we would like to enter the order and affirm the order on the house parcel. We will make sure that the findings in order reflect that, right, Chris? We'll only enter it on the house. I'm gonna let him talk, yeah. We're gonna only enter it on that parcel.
It'll be parcel one on the
Parcel one,
legal
okay,
parcel one.
great. And I think someone's here that might be a tax sale owner, or, come on up. Could you just make sure you state your name?
Good morning, Mr. President. Thank you for hearing this. My name is George Howard. I did some extensive research on the property before we actually purchased the lien on the property. Unfortunately, it was at the treasurer sale, and we cannot take possession until December 12th. December 12th. We understand that the damage that's done to the property is very cosmetic. Nothing really wrong with the property. We're willing to invest the amount of money that it is to save the home. We've already invested over $5,000 to purchase it. We just need time to take possession of it so that we can actually do the repairs that's needed on the property. To demo a property that we just invested over $5,000 on, I think would be unjust.
Just in response to Mr. Howard, I mean, Mr. Howard is someone for this board that's invested as a result of a tax sale. We always tend to try to work with folks that do buy the certificates on tax sale. However, there's no guarantee that he's going to perfect it correctly. I'm assuming that he's going to try to do that. He's got $5,000 invested in it. But we like to at least move forward with the order. And because the bids won't go out until, we're looking at probably a September date now for bids, that we should enter the order, stay it until at least the time of bids, have Mr. Howard come back in September when that bid date is. He'll get notice, or we'll get his address for notice, and then he can come back in and update and find out where we're at. Because I do know, for example, the treasurer's sale happened, when did you buy it, May, or did you buy it?
In September.
Last September. So his redemption date's not gonna be till September anyway.
Correct. That's why I said December.
Yeah,
the court date.
December hearing date. has
Correct.
already been set by the circuit court.
Correct.
So, who's your attorney on the tax sale? Are you doing it?
We do all ourselves.
Okay.
But I will say this, as far as perfection of title and perfection of deed, we've been successful in obtaining over 50 properties. I just had an article on the front page of the Times. We just bought 51 Webb Street here in Hammond, Indiana for $14,000. We're looking forward to doing great business and help redevelop Lake County in Northwest Indiana.
We know Mr. Howard does that, and we look forward to him doing it as well. But again, his interest right now in the property is contingent, and for that reason, we need to keep the process going.
I'm not understanding what's the rush on demoing the property that you don't have an
There's
interest
no rush in demoing it.
Okay, so,
There's
I
no
mean,
rush in demoing it,
or
but
the
there's
order.
a rush in entering the order.
Why?
Because we don't want to slow it down. What if you don't perfect it? What if there's an objection?
But what if I do?
What if I'm sitting here in March or April or May next year and you don't have anything going on?
But
with the property?
does it cost anything?
Go ahead. What's your objection?
Does it cost anything?
If you have any evidence you want to present today, Mr. Howard, besides the fact you have objection.
Your Honor. I mean, okay, well, I'm not being just hostile towards you.
I'm just saying.
I mean, but
if you have any evidence to present to the board, present it.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm a human.
Yes, sir.
So talk to me with respect. I'm talking to you with respect.
Don't suggest to me that the city doesn't have an interest in this.
I'm not saying the
has an
city.
interest in the neighborhood.
I'm not
It has
saying the
an
city
interest in
doesn't have an
neighborhood.
interest.
It has an interest in making sure
That I never said that.
You're not in a condition.
I agree with that.
All right.
And I'm not saying that they don't. I've never suggested that. All I'm suggesting is that we put a lot of money into this property already. We haven't had a chance to actually even say or do and show you that we actually want to perfect title and bring the property back up to living condition. The people that lived in the property before, they died. It was an older woman. She left it to her sister. Her sister died. We've talked to the neighbors. If we could take the property today and actually begin to do rehab on it, we would. Unfortunately, we cannot by law. I'm just asking that I don't have to come back here another, 6 months from now. If you can give me to December to actually, take possession of the property, once we take possession of the property, to hold off the order, once we take possession of the property, we will do. We just had a front page on the Times for the work that we're doing in Northwest Indiana. We just bought we already own over 40 properties. We just bought over 30, and then we just bought 51 Webb here in Hammond. This will be our second property here in Hammond, Indiana, and I look forward to working with you guys.
Mr. President, there's articles all the time in the paper about the speculators that, in fact, there's one, we've been dealing with Andy Young in this city for some time. He has 1,800 properties in Garrett. So just because Mr. Howard has multiple properties, and I have nothing against Mr. Howard. I hope he does do good work, and it sounds like he does, which is a great thing for the city. We want people that are committed to doing good work in the city. All I'm indicating is that we should go ahead with what we usually do, which is enter the order, stay it, so that there is no demolition. Let Mr. Howard go ahead with the process, perfect the certificate, get the tax deed, and then we'll work with him like we do with anyone to get an inspection, to allow us to have a rehab agreement just like we do before the court all the time, and then move forward. That's all we ask, is to move forward as we regularly do with tax certificate holders like Mr. Howard.
Do you have any objection to staying the order until December?
I have no objection to that. To see until after the hearing, so he can come back and say, or present to Ms. Cantor or me through our offices that he has it.
My concern is that if we set for status in September, he won't have anything additional to present to us at
That's
that time.
fine. We can wait. What's the date? 22nd? 20?
December, when's the court date? 22nd.
December
The building
22nd?
secure,
It is. It's boarded up.
and the grass is cut and everything, and it's taken care of?
Your Honor, if you allow me to cut the grass, we'll actually take charge of cutting the grass, so we won't be any weedlings against it
Yeah, he
anyway.
has the right as a certificate holder to cut the grass.
Okay. So, Mr. Howard, if we go ahead and enter this order and stay it until December 28th, which is a week after your hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any objection to that? You can come back, present us
That would be excellent, 'cause
information.
we haven't even seen the inside of the property yet, so
Okay.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to make a motion to enter the order to demolish, but to stay it until December 28th, when we'll have a status on this
Thank
property.
you. Thank you.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. 474 Fayette Street.
474 and 478 Fayette Street. I did get a phone call from Gary Bonk, who represents the estate of Mr. and Mrs. Beekes. They passed away some time ago. This is a property, you may remember it. It's on Fayette, downtown. I think it says Roy's Body Shop on the side. It's fenced in. It's got a lot of old vehicles and other debris outside of the property. It needs a paint job at the very least. The interior, the outside is basically a yard with a lot of old abandoned vehicles that have been there for years and years and have become a nuisance to the area of the property or the area of the city that is now being redeveloped. I can show the board's photos. We were contacted by Mr. Zazowitz, I believe, is here present today, and who has indicated he claims to be the new owner. However, we don't have anything in the title work indicating that. So by the way, Mr. Bonk, as the attorney for the estate, indicated that he did not have an objection to the order being entered, but he would notify any of the beneficiaries, and he did not mention to me Mr. Zazowitz's ownership interest, but he may not have known of it. So, sir, if you could just state your name and your address and your interest in the property.
Sure. My name is Ben Sazowicz. I bought it from Mr. Bukis in late 90s, early 2000s on contract sale. Mr. Bukis and I went round and round a few times on getting the deed. I have recorded it with the tax people or whatever at Crown Point. I've been paying the taxes on it since the 90s. I will admit we let it get out of hand as far as old cars and debris and weeds. I have pictures here that I took this morning. We have cleaned up almost all of it. Some of the violations don't even apply to that building, but we will continue to work on it. We have replaced overhead doors on it already. We have put in the one and only new window. We're in the process of replacing glass block. We will make all necessary repairs. We'll work with the city. I have no problem. I'm not looking to lose that building.
President, I do have an issue. I just spoke with the building department. If overhead doors and windows have been replaced, they have not been done with any permit. So that means the work's been done illegally.
No. The overhead doors got replaced 2 years ago. I hired a company to do it. Same with the window was done a year ago. I mean, it's kind of a slow process. The outside, I agree. We let that get out of hand. And, like I said, I have pictures of, if I can figure out how to work my phone, where I'll show you how we cleaned it up already. If you care to look.
Our pictures aren't taken that long ago, and it appears that.
This was this morning.
Right, despite owning the property since 1992, only the notice of the demolition has resulted in any work on this property. So I would like to enter an order of demolition, if you want, we can stay it, because it appears that this gentleman won't do anything on the property unless we have a hammer over his head.
Well, I mean, we replaced it.
Would you like to look at my pictures, sir?
Well, no, I know what it looked like. You're absolutely right that we let it get way out of hand as far as the old.
And until I received a notice from this office saying you were gonna do something about it, then you decided.
Well, we were doing the doors and whatnot, but yes, we let the outside get way out of hand.
Permits for that work?
I imagine the door company did. We didn't do it ourselves. I hired people to do it.
Okay, we do a permit history check whenever we run a demolition, so any work that's been done has been done illegally.
Does
You know what the
anybody-
door company was?
I can look up the receipt. I mean, I would not, just go ahead and do that. I'm not capable of that. I don't know what I'm doing in that regard. I fix automobiles. That I know how to do. Anything else?
Sir,
I would
are
get
you
done.
interested in entering into a rehab agreement with the city?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're fine with that, and
Okay.
as the board knows, we do that, that was under, after you were entered, you'll request to get an inspection.
Sure.
City inspector, you can do that downstairs for $150.
I do have an issue though, how is he gonna secure the deed? He has a land contract, but he doesn't have a deed.
I talked to Mr. Bonk. He referred me to another gentleman, and that's out of Maryville. Kirk, I think is his name. Mr. Bonk works with him, and he was doing some research on it just over the phone. But to do any further, I have to go in and hire him, which I will do.
I'm just saying, you can't enter a rehab agreement if he's not the title owner of the property. There's lots of land contracts, but until it's perfected and the deed is issued, he's not the owner.
Yeah, I checked the title work, it is recorded since 92, I think, or something.
Yes.
We have no idea if it's, I mean, he has an interest, but it's not title interest at this point, except that it's accepted for the title. So in other words, he couldn't sell it if he wanted.
Well, we weren't looking to sell it. Eventually, we were hoping my son would open a business there. He's in the process of trying to get clientele enough. He doesn't want to open and then fold.
Like I said, in order for anybody to enter a rehab agreement, we usually require that they prove that they actually own it. We have lots of people with interest.
I can bring in the contract and all my canceled checks.
No, we believe that. I think what you need to do is, like Mr. Moss suggested, hire an attorney, get it in your name if you believe you have the right title. And then we can move forward. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that, like Howard Neal has the contract back to the case with that. And if you don't have an ownership interest, you can't enter an agreement with it, and then we're just going to have to knock it down. So you need to get that in your name. That's number one.
Okay?
So if we
I
can.
mean, if we enter the order and stay until
Well, why don't we say until the day
the
of
bid,
so,
and
yeah,
would that be sufficient time to get this sorted out?
they'll probably be September sometime.
I don't know if there's going to be enough time.
Well, but if you ask a lawyer, you can have him come in and explain to us where you're at. That would be the best. Hire an attorney so that he can give us an update, so we can give the board an update. If it's moving forward, you get ownership, that's great. You're gonna have to file something with the board.
Okay, well, in the meantime, then, am I going to be stuck not being able to get any contractors in there to fix anything else?
That we have an attorney and inspection.
And you do it at your own risk, if you never get the deed and you've just done work on somebody else's property.
Well, I'm not worried about not getting a deed. I know that that's paid for, and I have the proof of that. It's just a matter of,
There's nothing stopping you
Getting
from
it fine.
keeping the outside cleaned up.
and I have the pictures to prove that we've done that.
We would need proof of ownership to issue a permit to you or to a contractor for that property. So we are in the same situation, we need proof that you own it. I'm not doubting anything you're saying, but to be able to change information in our system as the owner to contact, you're gonna have to show us the deed that you actually own the property.
Okay. So, I mean, in case this gets tied up, since it is so old, I did drag my feet for a long time on this, because when I talked to Mr. Perk, I think it is, he was saying that he can't even pull up his stuff. It could take a little bit to get it all straightened out.
Having contact with the bond, and hopefully between the two of them, they can work it out.
Okay,
All right, and then have them contact us too, your attorney, your hiring.
okay.
All right, so you'll get notice of the new case. And did you get notice of this one? You got it in the mail we sent?
I've got a stack of them, because, yeah, they notified all kinds of people.
Yeah, you'll get another one. We send it to the right.
But all of it, yeah, well, all of it comes to my address, because I am on file as,
All right, thank you.
Keep us updated.
We'd like to enter, affirm the order as presented, stay it until the date of bidding.
Make a motion to affirm the order and stay until the date of bidding.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes.
Thank you.
3006 Kenwood Street.
3006 Kenwood. Mr. Kestner? All right, Mr. and Mrs. Kestner are the title owners of the property. The water's been off since 2007. We have a situation here where it looks to be a duplex, I think. I'll show the board the pictures. Mr. Kestner, is this in fact?
Single-family residence.
It is, okay. Is this the property?
Yes, it is.
Accurate photos of it?
Yes, I would say so.
All right, I'm going to present these to the board. Looks like there's a two-car garage as well.
In the back, yes.
Yeah.
Attached.
The water's been off for almost 10 years according to the water department's records. I believe Mr. Kestner lives in Maryville, at least that's where we served you.
Correct.
You and your wife. We got a lot of debris and a tree seems to have grown into the garage. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Mrs. Kestner is no longer with us. I'm sorry about that. For 5 years apparently, and the deed's still in both of their names. So it's the position of the city that given the condition of the property, that we would request a demolition order to be entered. Mr. Kestner, you can present any evidence or witnesses or information to the board that you would like at this time.
I'm Charles Kestner. I live at 2125 West 57th in Merrillville, and I own the property at 3006 Kenwood Street. I got your letter there. It kind of looked like it was a laundry list, so I figured you guys needed to get my attention. Was that kind of correct? I went and looked at my property this morning, and it got mown. I don't know who mown it. I have been contracting a guy to mow it every other week, so I have to assume that he did it. I inspected the property, and I looked at the sins that it has, and I wrote up a schedule of work to be done, some of which will be done by me, and others I'm going to have to contract.
So it is your intent to rehab the property?
Yes, it is. Please do not knock my house down. I owe a significant amount of money to mortgage company for it.
So I think we appreciate Mr. Kestner coming in with his list, and if he is interested in getting it fixed up, there's obviously a process, and we're happy to work with him. We do know that he's the title owner of the property. So what we would suggest is to enter the order of demolition. We'll stay it to allow an inspection to take place. Mr. Kearney has confirmed that it is not a cut and clean, so Mr. Kestner is taking care of the property itself, which we appreciate, on the outside and the pipe. So we just need to get the place looking a little better. And if you would just make sure to go downstairs at some point to register for an inspection. It's $150, and then the inspector will come out. They'll give us a list of what needs to be done. We'll enter a rehab agreement with you, and then you'll kindly do that, and we'll be done with it.
Got a window I need to get that done in?
Well, we'd like you to definitely go down in the next probably 2 weeks to schedule it.
Okay, I can do that.
All right.
Okay.
So we can just enter the order of demolition and stay it to allow an inspection.
Does the board want this?
No, you can keep that. You might want that for the, unless you want to present it to the board. If you'd like to, I can give it to them. They can make it part of the record.
Okay,
Okay, we'll do that.
that's kind of why I wrote it up.
All right, great.
Thank you. Okay, make a motion to enter the order and stay it to allow for an inspection and a rehab agreement.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
829 to 31 May Street.
You can get that inspection set up. 8/29/31 May. Mr. President, we do have good service. This is we did have some contact from a tax sale purchaser named Mr. Johnson. The owner is listed as DeLuna. However, this is a boarded-up home full of graffiti, and given its condition, and we would request the demolition order be affirmed as presented.
All right. Motion to affirm the order.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. 813 Logan Street,
813 Logan.
right behind you.
Hi. So we have the owner listed as Cozad. The water's been off since 2014. There's no power to the property. The photos show a two-story frame house. The roof in the rear is collapsed. Windows are boarded up. Siding's missing, and the yard is full of debris. Your name, ma'am?
Brenda Cozad.
So Mrs. Cozad is present here today. Do you agree with me that the water's been off since June of 14?
Yes.
And the gas and electric meters have been removed and retired? And is this a true and accurate description of the property in these photographs? I'm showing you 4, 8, all right, 12. And you don't reside at this property?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. And there are I'm going to hand you this. This is because there are exemptions currently in the property with the county that say that you do live at the property. There's a homestead exemption on there. And you've indicated just now that you don't live there. So this needs to be filled out and filed with the county so you don't get in any further trouble about there being exemptions on the property. Okay, so that needs to be done, and we would make that a condition of any order entered here today. What's your intention with the property, ma'am? Or you have the opportunity now to present the evidence or testimony.
Well, I'd have to get a hold of the rest of my family because my parents passed away.
Okay.
And they live out of state.
So you're not sure if you are going to fix up the property? Not at this
I
time.
have no idea.
How long do you think that's going to take for you to kind of coordinate that with the rest of your family members?
At least 90 days.
90 days to,
Is there a state open for your parents on it, or you on it?
My parents.
Your parents on it. Has there been a state open?
I have no idea.
Okay. When did your parents pass away?
My father passed in 1992.
Okay, 1992, that's 25 years ago?
And my mother passed away in 2007.
Okay, so that's 10 years ago, and there's never been a state open?
No.
When's the last time anyone lived there, do you know?
I lived there about 4 years ago.
Probably right before this water got turned
Yes,
off. Okay.
yes.
So, although this, I sympathize with Ms. Cosad's situation, your family's situation. It sounds like it's been taken advantage for some time. Family's not up in a state to dispose of the property in any way. So we would request that the order be affirmed. If for some reason Ms. Cosad does get affected her family and you want to try to rehab it, I'm sure you can get a hold of us, you got a notice, you can call. Any objection to that?
okay. Make a motion to affirm the order.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. 7520 Monroe Avenue, garage only.
You too. 7520 Monroe, Mr. Wright is the owner of the property. He actually called Ms. Cantar and would like some time to inspect the property. The garage is in pretty poor condition. I would consider it almost to the point where it's falling, the roof is ready to collapse. So we would request, given the condition of the property, that the order be affirmed as presented. Did I lose the photo? I did. Thought we had photos, but we do have photos. But, I probably put them in another file. So the garage is in poor shape. We would request the order be entered as presented. And then, of course, if Mr. Wright does, in fact, request an inspection and he wants to self-demo it, we'll deal with that at the time of bids.
Okay. Motion to affirm the order.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. 219 Russell Street.
219 Russell, this is, of course, a 7-story building in downtown Hammond, just off the alley on Russell Street, next to the old IPSCO building. We received a request from Mr. Adam Decker, the attorney for Pima, who's the owner, as well as we're contacted by the attorney for the bank who owns a mortgage on, holds a mortgage on it, and we've agreed to continue this matter to August 10th.
To August, I'm sorry?
10th?
Okay. Set for status on August 10th.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against? Motion passes. 2064 and 2102 Sherman.
Mr. President, this is a house that has been determined to be a meth house. Ms. Cantar has been working with the state as well as the city regarding final demolition of this. It's been boarded up and declared unsafe by the county due to chemical contamination due to the meth that was being manufactured there. The police, of course, have been involved in this, and we are requesting an order of demolition. The owner is listed as a Mr. Tinks. Is that you, sir?
It's Mr. Trinks.
Trinks, I'm sorry, I apologize. And are you the owner?
In '89, a wife and I bought the place, rehabbed it, and quitclaimed it. Sharon owns it right now.
Sharon Joe?
Yes.
And what's your name, sir?
My name's Michael Trinks.
Where do you live?
Husband and wife. Right now,
Uh-huh.
we both live 115 36th Street, Gary.
115 36th Street
Gary.
in Gary. And what's the zip there?
I'm not sure.
Okay, we can figure that out. How long you lived there?
Since '89.
At 115 36th Street?
No, at 2100 Sherman.
Okay.
Since '89 till present.
Right, and when did you move out?
Be June 2nd.
Okay, were you aware it was being used as a methamphetamine
No,
lab? Okay, you understand that it was though, right?
I understand now that it was. I also understand that I had my son emergency evicted from the property months before that, and
When was he evicted?
he was evicted in does it say?
Yeah, it looks like August, you filed in August of
Okay.
last year.
Okay, and
We're
what?
going to board some photos of the property.
And then he got in trouble with the law.
For what?
Traffic offenses, drug violations,
Was he involved in the meth that was being made there?
no. But what he did, see, I just offhandedly said that, well, I just retired from my job, my second job that I had, and I wanted to fix the place up, you know, for my retirement, so my wife and I can enjoy time, and, you know, have new door put on, retile the shed, do some, around the concrete, you know, like waterproof.
Mr. Trinks, you don't own the property though, correct?
No,
Your
I
wife
don't,
does.
but
Is
I'm-
she here with you today?
She's here with us now. But what I'm trying to say is that.
She here?
Yes, she is.
You're the owner?
Yes,
Can you
she
step
is.
up here?
Is that the wife and I do not present a detriment to the thing, but my kid brought them people, unbeknownst to me, they were them kind of people. He brought them over, okay? I worked on, you know, I told him I needed a month to come up with funds. I would pay for the work, and the guy wanted, my motorcycle as payment for doing labor, okay? I would buy the thing.
The problem that we're having with this property is that, and Ms. Cantar can give you more details about it, it can't be rehabbed.
Indiana Department of Environmental Management has a specific form that has to be completed for a meth house. Basically, all of the porous materials in the property have been contaminated with chemicals, and everything would have to be removed. All of the walls, all of the ceiling, and floor covering, the place would basically have to be stripped down to studs and start over because of the contamination. And this has to be done with HDM supervision. This isn't just something that you can do with a contractor. This would environmental remediation being required with an environmental contractor. It just doesn't appear to me that is likely to happen in the present circumstances.
No, it doesn't, and I'm not in,
And you understand, Mr.
I don't mind if the house gets torn down. We don't
Okay.
mind. What we do want is permission to cut the grass on the
You can do that.
property.
Or no, I don't know. Can you do that, sir?
The leak can be in or around the property because it's contaminated.
You're gonna have
Okay,
to wait until it
wait
gets knocked
until
down.
after it gets knocked down?
Yes.
Okay,
And we're not taking ownership, sir, of your lot. You'll still have the vacant land.
gotcha. And then that's where we go on from here.
You got it.
Okay, but what I do need is some personal effects that are in there.
You need to check with who? County?
What's my medicine?
Let anybody in.
Nothing coming around, any porous, like a couch has been contaminated.
No couches or no furniture.
And actually, as a couple of weeks ago, we did have to board it back up because it looked like someone did, force themselves.
There has been break-ins. Okay, what I want is,
Next door neighbor had.
what I wanted was permission
They
to,
said somebody was messing around.
I wanted permission to pick up my motorcycle.
That all has to go through
Yeah.
Lake County Health
Lake County
Department.
Health
That's who you have to
Department.
go through. We don't even, I mean,
I wanted permission to pick up my boat and
Lake County Health
trailer.
Department.
Okay,
Mr. Trinks, we just don't have the ability to grant you that permission.
Oh, okay.
So, because Lake County was the one who declared it an unsafe property with the contamination, you need to contact them to see if you can make arrangements to go in.
cutting the grass once a week to keep the property.
Until the property is demolished, they're not gonna want you on it, okay? Right,
They're not gonna release the
right.
property to have you around it, or anyone around it.
So who do I have to talk to? Lake
Lake
County
County Health Department.
Health Department,
Could
Lake
I
County
have
Health
the
Department.
Lake County Health Department, take my medicine?
Because that's not something we handle, you're gonna need to contact them and talk to them about what you're looking to get out of the property, okay?
You know whether it is okay or not okay.
Okay,
all right.
see, we
I've
were
been
told
doing
that
without my
Hammond had
medicine.
control
Okay.
over it, and so we thank you for letting us know that to go through the
Lake
county.
County
Yes.
Health Department.
Health Department,
Yeah.
Lake County Health
Lake
Department.
County Health Department.
Okay,
All right.
the
Okay.
intention for the property is that I wanna keep it maintained, and after it becomes a slab, because it is in a commercial zoned district, and my neighbor already has a mobile home on his, okay, that why can I be allowed to put a mobile home on that slab? Because it's in the back of the lot, and the driveway goes all the way in the back, and it won't be up in front by the
Sure,
street.
that'll all be something we can deal with once it gets
Right.
demolished.
Gotcha.
Okay, once that's over, you can come back, contact the building department, and they'll work with you on your future plans for the property.
All right?
Okay.
All right, you have no objection, though, sir, right, to us entering the order of demolition, correct?
No, sir.
All right.
Okay.
That's what we
Thank you.
suggest. Your request. Thank
We'll make a motion to affirm the order to demolish.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes.
How many, no, they don't need that.
Oh, no, we don't.
You need a copy of this, or deed or anything?
No, you hold on to that, you might need that.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Is your opinion that I should get a lawyer in this matter, or should I talk to the Lake County
You,
first?
you may want to you may want to talk to a lawyer and to let them talk to Lake County Health Department. That might not be a bad idea. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
1140 Wilcox Street.
1140 Wilcox. 1140 Wilcox. Hi, good morning. We have an owner listed as Mr. Larks. Is that you, sir?
Yeah, Mr.
Good morning. Our photos show a two-story frame house with debris in the yard. The roof is covered by a tarp. The windows are either broken or boarded up. The shed in the rear is open. Mr. Larks has been cited in court and said he was going to lose it on tax sale.
Yes, that is correct. At this time, I am going to lose it on tax sale. In the meanwhile, I am trying to redeem the taxes if I can to repair the property and bring it up to date. At this time, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it. If I lose it for the tax sale, then whatever happens with it after that happens.
Do you live there, sir?
No one lives there.
Okay. There are exemptions on the property, homestead exemptions, so that the fact that you don't live there means that the exemptions are illegal. So I'm going to give you this.
Okay.
And ask you that you please fill that out and file it with the county, because you have exemptions on the property that aren't proper. In other words, you have a homestead exemption indicating that you live there, but you don't.
Right.
You probably did it one time.
Right.
So if you could please get that filled out and get it down to the county, that's important, okay?
Okay.
Because if you do end up redeeming it and you do want to fix it up, we're going to have to check and make sure that that's been fixed.
Okay.
So, is this in fact a picture of the property?
That's a long time ago.
Yep, last year, looks like. Here's this year. 322 is in March. Is that in fact the property we're talking about? January?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Do you have an objection to us entering the order of demolition and then proceeding? Of course, if you save it, you'll just have to let us know so you can go get an inspection.
Yeah, that'll be September 27th.
We'll know by then that's about the right time.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll request an order of demolition be entered as affirmed, but there be no objection.
Okay. Make a motion to affirm the order.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against? Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, you're
Sir.
Coming in.
The final property is 624 Willow Street.
624 Willow. 624 Willow. We do have good service. The owner is listed as Lunsford. They may or may not be deceased. Water's off, NIPS goes off. It's in bad shape. We have presented to the board the information regarding the condition of this property, and we would request that the board enter the order, or affirm the order as presented.
Motion to affirm the order.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Okay, we move down to item I, notice of violation hearing on property located at 1822 Davis.
All right, this is a property that currently sits as a occupied 2-unit on Davis. After we performed the inspection, there was remnants of a basement apartment. The current owner was not using it as such or had any intentions of having it occupied. However, with the existence of a kitchen with cabinets and other fixtures that would have allowed the possibility of an apartment, we decided to go ahead and move forward with the Board of Public Works hearing. The property is a legal 2-unit, however, would not meet current code or zoning requirements for a third unit, which would bring this property to commercial status. The owner is cooperating, has no intentions of occupying that space, and will be moving forward with removing the cabinets and whatever else from down there. She only intends to have it as storage. However, we want to ensure that if the property changes hands or is sold in the future, that any future owners are aware that a third cellar apartment would not be permitted at this location. So if the board would please affirm the findings and orders for 1822 Davis and the cellar apartment.
Motion to affirm the finding and orders.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move down to item K, a bid recommendation for demolition received from Kelly Kearney, Chief of Inspections. That's the one we just did.
We already did 12.
Yeah, this is
Oh, we
another
did this
copy.
one. Oh, okay. Oh, gotcha.
For the bid recommendation, the lowest and most responsive bidders, there's 3 companies. RS Demolition will get 7222 Jackson, and they'll also get 7449 Parish. And Acton Contracting, 7909 Belmont, and all of the other properties, the other 12 properties go to J&M Industrial Services, Inc. So do I have a motion approving the recommendation for the award?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item L is an agreement to rehabilitate property at 7222 Jackson Avenue.
Mr. President, as you recall, this a property we just awarded for bid. However, the owners have entered a rehabilitation agreement, so the actual demolition permits will be stayed until such time as the agreement is either completed by repairs or it expires and we demolish the property. So I would just ask.
That's on the list that we just read?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, we just got awarded to, I think, RSR.
SR.
But there is an owner who's signed a rehabilitation agreement, and if they complete the work under that agreement, there will be no need for demolition.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the order to rehab.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against, motion passes. Item M, correspondence received from attorney Robert Storage requesting a rental registration hearing on property located at 2313 and 2315 169th Street be continued. It was scheduled, what, for today?
Yeah, this is our third time coming to it. I didn't know if he was gonna be on.
This is is the third time that he's asked to have it rescheduled?
No, this is the first time he's actually.
Oh, okay.
But this is the third time that he's actually,
I'm here today.
You're the property owner?
Yeah, I remember he was here. You were here a time when Attorney Storage didn't show, correct? And then he came the next time and we were a little unclear.
He only gave me 30 minutes notice, and I didn't see the voicemail. I was in the shower. I looked at my voicemails later and saw that it was set for,
You want to step up to the microphone so we could hear you?
So,
I mean, I sympathize with him, the problem being is he has an attorney, so
Right.
he wants to proceed by himself, which
Well, the reason I wanted an attorney is because I'm very embarrassed about, part of the reason that I didn't get the registration is I've had some health and financial problems, and I was embarrassed to come, and he said that he could do it without me being present.
okay. Well, it looks like we figured out last time that you were able to pay for the 2017.
Yeah, the reason I missed 16 is I honestly thought it was the end of April. And I came on the 29th and I had that stamped. I don't know if they have a copy of it, but I thought it was the 15th. I mean, I thought it was April, the end of April, not the 15th.
So it sounds like 16, you're admitting that it wasn't registered on time, but it also that 14 is in question a little bit. So do you want us to continue this as that your attorney has
I'll tell
requested?
you what's going on is I had a car accident and my thoracic spine, all of the discs are without fluids in them, and then 3 of them are herniated, and then 1 is bulging, and now the spine is curved. So I've had a lot of problem with chronic pain. I'm taking medicine for that, and then I've had protracted depression because of the loss of my physical status. And that's why I really haven't had any money. But the truth of the matter is for 16, I thought it was the 30th of April, not the 15th.
Okay, well, it still sounds like we were not sure about what happened in 14, and your attorney is asking for a little bit more time to figure that out.
That was,
Are you in agreement with that? Would you like to?
That was the health issue. I just had the back injury.
Okay.
okay with doing something, but
Yeah, I mean,
he
it,
has an attorney, so I just don't want him to then come back later and say, well, I didn't have my attorney.
Okay.
right, so I mean, your attorney's asked for 2 weeks. So if you're in agreement with that, we'll go ahead and grant the continuance.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay. All right, we'll make a motion to approve, our motion to set for status on, where are we here? We're on Hammond that week, right? Oh, no, we're on motion set for status on July 27th. Okay,
Second.
thank you, sir.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against, motion passes. Item N, status of repair on property located at 4401 to 03 Sheffield Avenue, 4407 Sheffield, and 4409 through 11 Sheffield.
Unfortunately, attorney storage is on those cases as well, which we've continued. Those are those big apartment buildings. And we sent this day over from the last demolition date. So if you want, we could set it over 2 weeks when we have his other matter.
Same day?
July 27th?
Right.
Yeah. Are we ready to make this a final continuance? Okay. Make a motion to continue, or make a final continuance to July 27th on these properties.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item O, order to rescind order of demolition property located at 6518 Alexander Avenue.
This one was a double win for the city. Not only is the property gone, but the lien has been paid. So we can rescind the order. It is all clear.
Okay. Make a motion to rescind the order to demolish.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item P, correspondence received requesting rental registration hearings. There's a few of them here.
What you thinking, Lynn? Okay. Make a motion to set for hearing on August 3rd.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against? Motion passes. The amusement device list for the week of July 10th. Looks like there's only one.
Yeah,
One business
okay.
with several devices.
I'll make a motion to approve the amusement devices.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item R, correspondence received from Hammond Crime Watch requesting approval to place banners on fences at Irving Park, Columbia Park, Splash Pad, Hessville Pool, Martin Luther King Pool, Pulaski Park for National Night Out, Tuesday, August 1st. These are all on
Yeah, I'm gonna make a
property.
recommendation that this goes to the park board. And actually the Port Authority, because Splash Pad is included.
Motion to refer then?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to refer to the park department and
Port Authority.
the Port Authority.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item S, correspondence received from the Downtown Hammond Council requesting street and alley closures, no street parking, and use of outdoor land at the Dan Raven Plaza and the land that formerly housed J.C. Penney for the third annual Arts on the Avenue, Saturday, August 26th. Do we own that land where the building was demolished, the old Pennies?
Chris, do we owe J.C.
Somebody
Penney's?
stoned it.
We did an emergency rehab on that building, I believe. I don't know that we do. Did we? Oh, yeah, we did. We demolished it, right?
We did demolish it.
Yeah. Somebody else could still own the land.
But I think redevelopment did the demolition, so I believe we do. Let's check on that.
Forward this request to redevelopment to make sure that they have the ability to allow this.
Okay.
Well, some of this would be ours, right? Alley closures, the no street
Yeah.
parking.
That's for.
Just for the
streets and
J.C.
PD
Penney.
And redevelopment?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a motion to refer to redevelopment, street department, and police department for review.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item T, correspondence received from Miss Deanna Molina requesting the alley at the corner of 174th Street and Jackson Avenue be blocked on Saturday, July 15th from 2 to 8 p.m. for a children's birthday party.
Can you look at this? I mean, you just send it. Streets and PD? Send it to streets and PD? Do we have time to send it to the streets and PD?
What's the date of that?
Saturday?
Saturday.
Block off the side street. So she wants here and here.
So it's really not an alley, it's a street.
Right.
Normally, we send it to the police too.
Yeah. Okay, we'll make a motion to approve, subject to approval by the street and police departments.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item U, garage sale permits. There's a bunch of those. It's that time of year.
All right, we need to bring up on matters and for members, okay. Would the parking at the civic center thing? Are we gonna do it? I responded to Chris yesterday on that. I think we need more information before that. Because I don't
What's
know
the
that
date
people
on
are in
that?
agreement. That I think Chris needed by September. So, okay, make a motion to approve the garage sale permits.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Matters from other board members? We
Make a-
have,
Make a motion that the July 20th Board of Works meeting will be canceled.
Second.
motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Any other matters from other board members?
Nope.
Matters from other department heads or their representatives? New business, old business. Under old business, item AA, correspondence received from Apostolic House of Prayer requesting street closure Saturday, July 15th from 8 to 2 for a car wash. And that street is Blaine from Highland to Harrison.
Is this one we just needed additional information on from last
I went
meeting?
out and looked at it yesterday. They want the alley closed. They want the alley, not the street, right?
No, they want a street here. Yeah, well, if you close that street, you're gonna end up closing the alley.
True. True.
It could make it difficult for anyone trying to get in and out of that alley. It has?
Has it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We still
And
wanna
they've been
refer
able to work it
police
out.
and street?
Pardon?
Send it to police and street still?
Yeah.
Okay. Make a motion to approve subject to the approval of the police and street departments.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The item, the parking at Civic Center?
Chris, that parking at the Civic Center for the concert in September, we don't need to take action on that today, do we?
Chris?
I sent you an email yesterday about that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, well, we do have an issue. The promoters for that event are looking to charge for city parking.
Right.
So basically, they want to park cars on city streets and then pay for it. I think with any other lease of city property, there should be a written agreement, there should be some indemnification, there should be insurance, proof of insurance, who's going to maintain the property, clean up afterwards, are they going to have their own security? These are all questions that have not been answered or actually even addressed, and so I don't really feel comfortable having the board making a decision until all of those issues are addressed. So perhaps maybe the promoter needs to come in, or somebody from the park department needs to come in and just basically lay out what the plan is.
I
But
agree.
I wouldn't see this as any different than renting out a park or the civic center itself, or, how are we going to make sure everything is done the way we want it?
Okay. I don't think we need to take action on that.
Yeah, we don't need to take action, but somebody needs to maybe contact the park department and the promoter to either have somebody come here or explain how they're gonna agree to this.
Okay.
Okay, next week, meeting's open to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to step up? Yes.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Herrera, and I am the center manager for the Women's Care Center, 7127 Indianapolis Boulevard. We are looking to put some wooden boxes on Indianapolis Boulevard, and we just want to make sure that we can do that. Just like Howard
I know
boxes.
the thick concrete ones.
Yeah, there's some
Well, we're
planners
not
out there.
sure- There is some, but not in front of our center. So we were we're not sure if they're gonna be cement or wooden at this point. I'm still getting some quotes. But we just want to make sure that it's okay, because we just want to make it look a little nicer.
Is it going to be on your property or on the sidewalk?
It'll be on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk.
Where all
So
the
there
other
has to
ones,
be, there's a couple of issues that have to be met, like you need 2-foot clearance from the face of the curb to the face of the planter, so that when because there's parking there, correct?
right,
So when someone's backing in and out, they're not gonna hit your planter.
Right.
And damage your car. Then they're also, on the opposite side of the planter, we need enough of the sidewalk clear so that you can get a handicap wheelchair through there, which is typically nothing less than 42 inches. If you can meet those requirements, so I think the board would probably like to see what kind of planter you're gonna put there
well, I
and what
have
the
some
size
pictures.
is.
I have some
Someone she can
pictures
meet
here.
with.
Pardon?
Is there someone, a department she can meet with to kind of work out these details? Do they typically send it to engineering?
Yeah, you could probably meet with Jonathan Parker down in engineering. He's down there, he should be down there now if you want to show him the pictures. And I'll stop down there after the meeting too, and I'll clarify what he's approving there. But yeah, we don't have a problem as long as you're gonna maintain them.
Right, of course. We will.
And as long as they don't create issues there, because that is a public walkway, and we need to make sure it's not blocked.
Right. It would be what?
State highway's probably gonna blow them off. They're gonna say the sidewalks are the city's responsibility.
In my other recommendation, make the public works agreements in the cement barriers, someplace that's not being maintained or taken care of or. Right, exactly.
Pick up and move the concrete ones we already have paid for and just put them there, and then they're already approved because they're ours. Because there's a lot of them that are just mostly full of empty pop bottles.
Yeah, there's places where they're not maintaining them, and if you'd be willing to adopt those existing
We
ones.
would love that. We would love that.
Okay.
So that is a question for Gary Gleason at the street department. I'm sure he's got ones that are not being maintained, that he'd love to move over there if somebody's gonna water them and plant them.
We definitely will.
And then that would save you the cost of buying the actual planters.
Yes, it would. Yes, it definitely would. So Gary Gleason, where is he out of?
He's on Conkey Street. What's that,
601 Conkey Street.
Conkey.
Okay. 853.
Tell him that you came before the Board of Works.
Awesome.
Tell him that you came before the Board of Works and the board recommended the possibility of moving planters that are not being maintained someplace else.
Awesome, awesome. That really works. Also, one more, there's another place in front of our door. We would like to put a couple, like on each side of our main door. So we would like a couple out front on Indianapolis, and then maybe a couple of boxes that we can actually do ourselves beside our entrance.
As long as you could show us that you're not gonna be blocking the sidewalk. That's the main issue. People have to be able to get in and out. I'm sure you got people coming to that care center in a wheelchair, but they probably go in the back door, right?
Well, that's the front door is really our only door that they can come in. So who do I talk to about that, just to ensure?
Jonathan will be able to work with you on that as well. So he'll help you to develop the plan that it'll fit in that space adequately.
Okay, great.
Okay?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next.
Yes, we are requesting an extension on our rehab agreement at 7149 Ontario.
This is a rehab agreement that we entered into in May of this year. It expires actually today. However, in order for me to do a rehab, I need to see that some work's actually been done and inspected, and that seems to be the issue here.
All right.
Yeah, Bob, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I have done some inspections there. It is coming along nicely. I did an insulation inspection for the new walls that were framed. There's new walls to north, west, the west.
Yes, it's the west wall, the south wall, and there was a little bit of rehab on the rear wall, which would be the east wall. 2 new picture windows have been put in, 2 new doors. It is being sited as we speak, should be finished today. All the freeze boards, fascia soffit, no gutters as of yet. Insulation has been approved, the framing and the roof has all been replaced. Okay? We've got some electrical updates that have been added to the list. There's an issue with some ductwork, and then once we get that facilitated, we've got to restring the fence back up, which was removed, just to get the stump removal in. We had 3 trees dropped, as well as about 30 stumps from overgrowth from bushes to bring the property back to a presentable state. The deck has been facilitated underneath and brought into code. And then the last thing would be probably a fence along the back, and then get the garage approved to rehab it.
Well, the deck still needs work on.
Well, some of it does, but it's been re-supported with proper hangers, et cetera, to the.
Railing. The garage is still an issue, and then we need an electrical contractor.
Right, which we're going to use the original guy who upgraded all the service. To begin with, I contacted him yesterday evening, and once we find out what is in the requiem, we will facilitate that as well.
And just so he understands that the plumbing and HVAC have to be done by license.
Well, they all function. They're all functional. They all function.
So Chris, does this require a brand new document or?
Oh, yeah, I can do an extension of a rehabilitation agreement, but we do not do an extension of a rehabilitation agreement unless we know that the person has actually used the time that they were given to do to work properly with permits and inspections. And so once I have that information, I can just mail them an updated rehab agreement. But we don't let somebody extend a rehab if they haven't done anything with the time they had before.
Well, it sounds like he's,
Well, we've
doing
done,
stuff.
half of our term got burned up through goings on through the mail.
There is progress being made. I think what we're gonna need though is, from a licensed plumber, licensed HVAC,
Right.
contractor, that everything passes and shows an invoice, that
Okay.
everything is up to code.
Not a problem.
Hey, who do we contact this, because we ask people and everybody tells us, I don't know, we go here, we go there, we get a lot of runaround.
Well, it's been a little confusion, it's just been some confusion, and, that's just the bottom line.
Who's the best person to contact? Building inspector? Building department? Okay.
Okay. Like I said, if y'all took a ride past it, the place looks gorgeous now, and I mean brand new.
Well, we're obviously not gonna go out there and knock it down today, so you're okay.
I pray
So
that
if you can work with our building department and the law department on extending that
We
rehab
are
agreement.
completely willing to toe the line and do just exactly what is requested, within
so,
reason.
I don't think we need to take any action on it today, but go ahead and coordinate with Attorney Cantor, and hopefully we'll get this sorted out for you.
Thank you.
Sign off and I can send it in the mail.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Well,
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank
So,
you.
like I said, I've got some of the stickers here already, you know. Okay.
Next.
All right, gotcha.
Thank
All
you.
right, very good. So,
Thank you.
what do we wait from here?
I would schedule a meeting with the building department, correct?
Everything can move forward, we can still get permits and continue to work, but we don't want to slow anything down.
Okay.
We will have to do the signs and stuff.
Okay, so does he need to contact an inspector or someone in your department to provide that information to allow Attorney Cantor to extend the rehab agreement?
Yes, he's gonna have to do that, well, the additional work that needs to be done is understanding for everybody.
Yeah, I do have a list here, I will.
Okay, all right, very good. Okay.
Okay,
We're in compliance, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kay.
Hi, I'm Leona Titchener. I'm the property owner at 47 Mason, otherwise known as the house called Lazarus. I am here today to ask for a hearing in 2 weeks when I can be represented by counsel in order to request that there be reinstatement of the rehab agreement. Mr. Kearney advised me to secure counsel yesterday, and 24 hours has not been long enough to do that. In the time since the original rehab agreement has been made, I have made a small amount of progress. I started removing the lathe and plaster to take areas of the interior down to stud. The electrician that I had in wanted to see the things down to stud before he would give me a written estimate. Had a carpenter in to look at the deflection in the attic, but again, with the other work, conceivably work on floor joists, it's better to have as much cleared as possible. I had started removing the lathe and plaster. I had a stop work order on the property in March. I did not understand that I needed a specific permit to remove the lathe and plaster. I made a follow-up phone call with Jaime Prieto, and he was going to get back to me. I didn't hear from him. One of the issues in the communication is I bring a little history. I have a letter of complaint on file against me with 70 at the Episcopal office at 77 West Washington in Chicago, because in another municipality I called the building commissioner too often. I didn't call to harass, but I called consistently, and so I'm a little shy and a little wounded by that, and I should not have carried that into the situation, but I did. I have, after I determined that the siding was not within the scope of the stop work order, I have proceeded to prepare it. I had a siding contractor look at it. He advised me to paint it. I have removed some broken sidewalk, the sidewalk at the side of the house. I've partially filled in the area. I have improved the landscaping. I'm actually get compliments on the landscaping, elements of the landscaping now from some of the neighbors. and from how much work I've been doing on the yard in that area of the property. So that is my request, is that I be represented by counsel, and that that be the order for demolition be stayed for 2 weeks in order to secure that.
May I please respond to the board? I'd like to give you some history of the property. Back in August 2015, that's 2 years ago, we received a petition from the neighbors complaining about Mrs. Kitchener's property, saying that she always says she's going to work on it, but she doesn't actually accomplish anything. Based on the petition from the neighbors, we sent her a notice to repair or demolish. An order was entered by this board, and I have a copy of it. I'm going to give it to Mrs. Kitchener. It was entered on March the 3rd, 2016. So that is over a year ago. This order to demolish was entered. This order was not appealed before the courts. Mrs. Kitchener then entered into a written rehabilitation agreement. The date of the written rehabilitation agreement is June the 23rd, 2016. Once again, more than a year ago. The power has been off at this property since last April. The power has been off for over a year. The written rehabilitation agreement between Mrs. Kitchener, which she signed and actually had notarized, I have a copy of it which I'm going to give her, indicates that she is going to do all of these things. The grounds must be cleaned and all debris removed. The grounds must be properly maintained throughout the rehabilitation process. Remove and replace concrete sidewalks in front or rear of the dwelling. That has not occurred. Repair or replace all fencing as needed. That has not occurred. The roof shingles and underlaying sheathing were removed in 2013 with new steel roofing panels and OSB sheathing installed. The metal roof is missing in areas and must be satisfactorily repaired. That has not occurred. It will be required to provide proper soffit roof ventilation per building codes. All chimneys and roof penetrations should be inspected and repaired, replaced. That has not occurred. The 2x4 roof rafters are spaced 24 inches on center and show signs of deflection in several areas. The rafters must be replaced or properly reinforced per current building codes. No wood members affected by rot may be left remaining. That has not been addressed. The chimney will require tuck pointing and repairs. That has not occurred. The soffit, fascia, frieze boards, related wood trim work, and gutters must be replaced or repaired. Numerous areas of rotted or damaged wood were noticed. There could be no rotted wood left remaining. That did not occur. The exterior side of the concrete foundation wall appears stable. Okay, that gets all right then. Scrape and power wash the entire foundation. That does not occur. The exterior wood clapboard siding is in poor condition and requires major repairs and painting or total replacement. Any siding that is repaired must be uniform color, matching or complementary material and free of visible defects. That has not occurred. Any or all rotted wood around the windows and doors must be replaced. All remaining wood windows, doors, and trim must be scraped and painted. That has not occurred. The wooden front stairs must be removed and replaced in accordance with current building codes. If the board recalls, I can show you pictures. They are leaning to the side, a danger to the mailman. That has not occurred. The open wooden front porch must be repaired or replaced as required to bring into conformity with current building codes. That has not occurred. Now we're on to the interior. Remove and replace all floor coverings. Please note that many areas of the floor show signs of deterioration indicating possible damage to the floor sheathing or structural members below, which must be replaced or repaired during construction. That has not occurred. Remove and replace all interior wall coverings. That may be in progress. Remove and replace all interior ceiling coverings. That has not occurred. All wood framing must be inspected and all discovered deficiencies being corrected. There can be no rotted or insect-damaged wood left remaining. That has not occurred. Remove and replace all kitchen cabinetry and fixtures. The kitchen will require complete guttings down to framing members. That has not occurred. Remove and replace all bathroom cabinetry and fixtures. The bathroom will require complete gutting down to framing members. That has not occurred. Remove and replace all windows and doors as needed. Windows and doors must meet current light, vent, and egress requirements. That has not occurred. Installed insulation is required to obtain the minimum R13 wall and R38 ceiling values. That has not occurred. Install a code-compliant attic access serviced by a light in the attic. That has not occurred. There is no power in it. Replace or repair or replace the stairs leading to the basement and bring into conformity with current building codes. Proper handrails and guards are required. That has not occurred. Upgrade the electrical, mechanical, and plumbing systems and entire structure to current standards. This includes, but is not limited to, the installation of hardwired smoke detectors with battery backup in all code-required areas. That has not occurred. Basement, remove any interior non-bearing walls and wall ceiling coverings. That has not occurred. Install R13 insulation in all floor joist space and wood frame exterior walls. That has not occurred. Replace or repair all substandard floor joists, beams, and columns. The entire floor system must be in compliance with current building code requirements. That has not occurred. Remove and replace rotted sill plates. Remove any remaining galvanized water lines and replace with code-compliant materials. That has not occurred. Remove and replace or satisfactorily repair any off plumbing and electric. That has not occurred. The hot water heater, furnace, and related ductwork must be inspected by a qualified technician and brought into good operating condition. That has not occurred. The concrete foundation walls show some cracks. These areas must be treated and stabilized. That has not occurred. Damp proofing of the basement must be performed. That has not occurred. Power wash and disinfect all concrete walls and concrete floors. Now, before you say, City Attorney, how do you know all this hasn't occurred? Because if you go to the body of this agreement, which I will give her a copy of, it says, Leona Titchener will use licensed contractors licensed in the City of Hammond, including all subcontractors, and will pull all necessary permits with required inspections to complete all of the work set forth in the inspection report of the Hammond Building Commissioner. Asbestos and lead paint, if any, must be abated prior to rehabilitation by a licensed contractor. Owner is responsible for contacting NIPSCO to ensure that power is available to the property and has not been terminated by the city during the demolition process. Repair work on the house at 47 Mason will commence no later than July 1st, 2016, and be substantially completed by March 1st, 2017, with outside cleanup to occur within the first 30 days. I will give a copy to her. There have been no permits pulled on this property. It has been 2 years now since the neighbors have complained. I'm really glad that she planted flowers. Planting flowers was not on that extensive list of repairs that were necessary to make the property safe and compliant. The demolition contractor was outside of the door yesterday, and that is why we are here today. There is no need to delay any further. The work that is required under the written agreement that she signed and had notarized has not been done. I'm not sure if waiting another 2 weeks or waiting another 2 years will make any difference. So the board is free to do whatever it likes, but this is what she was told to do over a year ago, and exactly 0 things on that list have been done with permits, inspections, and licensed contractors, as the written agreement stated she would do.
When did the written agreement expire?
March 1st of this year, and here we are, July 13th. There have been no permits. There have been no inspections. I've spoken to her on the phone several weeks ago and told her that she has to allow inspections of all the work she claims to have been done. That has not occurred.
I have never refused a request for inspection and willing to swear that under oath.
When the stop work order was placed on the house, it wasn't necessarily to stop any work, it was to get inside and see what is being done, because there was no permits issued to do any work, even if it was demolition. We would want to have a permit in place saying there's demolition being done, so we can inspect electrical when we get to that point. Me and Jaime had talked about this property when she called. Jaime did return her call. We had a discussion on it, I believe the next day, on what was going on with this property, and I gave you some history. She has called Ms. Cantor, Mr. Cook, myself, and inspectors in the area. I have had a conversation with her explaining exactly what has happened, that we have got no progress whatsoever.
And this is currently under contract for demolition?
The contractor is out there yesterday ready to start work.
I had to go there and actually call the police department. She was in the building. She requested to come here and speak in front of the board, and I had no problem with that. But if this is going to go forward, holding up in her property is not going to solve the issue. We need to get work done. We need to get contractors. Work that's being required to be done is not something that even a single contractor could do. One man's not going to be able to do this. For replacing rafters and that is not something that you can just go up there and nail. It's something that's going to be designed, done, and done professionally with someone that is licensed to be able to do the work. A contractor estimates, she said she's had estimates for work to be done, but she has nothing in writing. If your house is on a demolition list and is risking demolition, I would believe that you could get paperwork, at least be able to come here and say, I'm trying to get this done, it's a financial situation, whatever it may be. We are understanding that situation. I think the board's well aware of that. You're telling me that you're going to get an attorney but we're supposed to put everything on hold for that attorney to come here. We're at the point now where we're gonna, if we get to the point where we give a rehab agreement, I'm gonna request the board, I requested that at that time, and I'll, actually speak with Ms. Cantar, and at this point, request a bond. If she wants to go forward and fix this house, then fix the house, but we want a bond in place. If the work is not done, we'll cash that bond and do the demolition. That bond was waived the first time, because in good faith, we thought she was gonna actually repair this house.
Are there holes in the roof right now?
The roof is actually partially finished. The northwest corner is not finished, and then the roof vent is not finished. So I'm suspecting that there's water getting in. I don't know how it would. If everything was tore off, as the permit indicated at the time, and the vent ridge is not put up there, I don't see how water can, how you can stop water from not getting in there.
So we had the demo, was it the demo contractor or the inspector was out there yesterday?
The contractor was out there with his equipment ready to start under the demolition order.
Was, I mean, obviously we have to have the power turn off and everything like that. Was that, so it's, okay. Gotcha.
Everything has been cut. The water line has been cut at this point, so the new water service is going to have to be dug up and put in, installed, because it was prepared for demo.
Gotcha.
There's additional that will need to be done.
The problem is nothing has been done under the written agreement. And I have no reason to believe anything's going to happen if we wait 2 weeks, other than it's going to cost us more for the contractor.
Well, this rehab agreement is expired, it's been expired for over 4 months. Why is this the first time we're seeing you?
I wrote a letter to this spot, I think I addressed it to Mr. Cook and one other member of the building department. I wrote the letter in February asking for extension. I had heard nothing from this body.
The board received it in February, and the condition was that the work she claimed to have, because in her request, she said it's mostly done. And we said, well, we need to have an inspection.
That's not accurate.
Actually, I can find it, it's in our records.
It's not true.
It's mostly done, I just need a little bit more time, and we had no permits, no inspections, and we have received no calls for it.
Why didn't the contractor proceed with the demolition that day that he was there?
She actually was held up in the house. I was there with the officers, and since she requested to come in front of the board this morning, I was not going to ask the officers to remove her or go to that extent. I am firm on what we need to do with this situation, but I was not comfortable having officers actually remove her. Again, if we get to this point again, she's held up in the, I guess I would have to be action statement. I don't want to get to that point, but.
Ms. Cantor's recollection of details of the letter of February are not accurate.
Okay, I have a copy of it. It's dated February 17th, 2016, 47 Mason. The notice of violation of Hammond Housing Code order to demolish and repair, notice of demolition order thereon requested by the Hammond Chief of Inspection. I am respectfully requesting postponement of the hearing in this matter originally set for Thursday, February 18th.
You're reading from the wrong year. That's the wrong correspondence.
All right, I'll find one of these, all right, fine.
I do want to take offense to the fact that repeatedly she's saying that we have not contacted her, or that we have not returned her phone calls. She calls in February, we put a stop work order up, and she says, I called Hammond, he never called back. Yet, a week ago, she's called everybody in the department several times to, I believe, get misconstrued answers. An answer from secretary is going to be different than the one that I'm going to explain to her, the situation I'm going to explain to her. And we have hearings, we send out notices, so she's been notified of everything that's been going on. She wants us to come to her and say, please build, redo this house and start doing the remodeling.
I really object. I think that's an attack on character, and I think that's very unfair.
Did you not say that you called Jaime, he didn't return your call?
No, this is what I said. I called Jaime, we spoke. He was going to get back to me. He never got back to me.
So that's where you left it?
So, and as I explained, I've had situations where I've been expected to wait considerable periods of time.
You spoke to Mr. Cook and myself since then?
I have spoken to Jaime since then, I've spoken to Mr. Cook, and I've spoken to you since then. But
yet nothing has been done.
But I'm saying, and you, but the February, I did not hear you say get the inspections, Ms. Cantor. I heard you say it was totally a done deal and the house was coming down. The letter that I wrote in February requested extension of time. I did not receive any response to the letter that I wrote.
Well, ma'am, you came before this board today because you recognize the fact that we signed the rehab agreement, we approved the rehab agreement, we approved the demolition order, and yet you say in February, when you sent a letter to someone in the building department and did not receive a response, why didn't you appear before us at that time prior to the expiration of your rehab agreement?
Because I don't know what timelines people operate on.
Well, you signed a rehab agreement that was expiring March 1st, so if in February you needed more time, the appropriate time to come to the board would have been then.
I know that now, but I usually, when I write a letter, someone writes a letter back to me. I don't know that I did not know or understand that I had to read or attend these board meetings in order to get a response to correspondence.
I think that if it were my home and it was going to be knocked down within 30 days, and I didn't get a letter or response to my letter, I think I'd be showing up. I mean, we've been in a position now where the city's spending additional dollars to send a demolition contractor out there on multiple occasions.
Just one occasion, to my knowledge.
In which they were being paid, they were contracted to do that job, and they were unable to do that job because you were in that home. So in the event that this is rehabbed, we either spent money on the contractor going out there for no reason, or if it is going to be demolished, then we're spending it twice because they had to go out there on a different date.
But numerous city officials knew that I was trying to do something with the property, and the mobilization for construction was not something I had control over.
But the board that approved the demolition order and the board that approved your rehab agreement, you never came before us to discuss this. We're the ones who authorized both those things.
It would have been helpful if there had been written response to my letter in February, which was sent to two city officials, Mr. Cook and someone else. I think I'm not sure if it's Mr. Kearney or...
Both of which are not on this board.
I understand that now. I'm sorry that I don't know. My experience has been in another state, and so I don't always understand correctly the administrative processes of Indiana and of Lake County and of the city of Hammond. I'm sorry.
Quite frankly, I believe the city's done their part. And I think we should continue the process moving forward in regards to the demolition. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what other options you have personally, but I think this board is going to move forward with the demolition, and I'll make that motion.
Do we have an alternate recommendation from the building department or law department on this?
No.
I mean,
there was a rehab agreement. We gave her a chance. If she had done any of the work, we would have extended it. If she had called and let an inspection, like I had said, we need to have an inspection of the work you claim to have done yourself. We both are on the phone about this. We're on the phone for 25 minutes.
And I've asked for inspection, and it's been declined.
She asked for an inspection last week when she called for an inspection on Monday. Okay? Policy is if the permit's been pulled on a house that's under demolition, we're not going to go inspect. We're not going to enter a rehab agreement. We have actually done all we can to that point. So it's not fair for a contractor to do all this bidding, getting awarded, and loading this equipment up here, pulling the permit, first come out and say, nope, we're going to let them continue to work. So there was no inspection because this is the proper venue for this to be taking place. Contractors are yesterday were doing work and we have to pull them off the job.
when would they be returning?
They're doing the house in Cal City is returning in 4 to 5 days. And I recommend that happen. If we do not have a council in place, someone who would say that they're going to enter into this, let's go forward.
I mean, we don't need a lawyer, we need a contract. She's obviously free to consult with an attorney. I've given her the documents. so that she can show it to an attorney. Problem is, we need somebody to actually fix this house up. It is a danger, and the neighbors are complaining. It is not safe. It hasn't had running water or power for over a year. It is a vacant house in which she stores things. If she wishes to remove her possessions, we are completely amenable to letting her remove her possessions. But this is not just going to be a storage locker in the middle of a neighborhood, because that's what it is. It's just a storage locker.
Well, we have a motion on the floor.
A second.
The demolition, and a second. Any questions or comments?
I'm still hearing a couple of different things. If in the next 4 to 5 days I have a contractor in place to do some of this work, does that change the picture? If I make the demolition contractor whole, I mean, what was the expense involved? Are the city whole for mobilizing for construction? What is that expense? If I make that whole, does that change? Would that permit 2 weeks of grace here to demonstrate? Because Ms. Cantor's statements are not accurate in several parts. And furthermore, there's a fence on the property that I think, I'm not sure whether, I think if that gets taken down, the neighbor's going to be very unhappy because it's their fence, and I'm not even sure where the property line is. I don't think that has been cleared up.
The fence is a violation of itself. We can handle it 1,000 different ways. The problem we're having is this house needs to be either repaired or demolished. That's where we're at. That's where this stands. Planting flowers, taking down the fence, replacing a piece of sidewalk does not solve the problem with this house. It either has to be repaired or demolished. It's the board's order. Let's go forward.
We have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those against? Motion passes. Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who'd like to step up?
Can I ask a question of the attorney and chief before I approach?
What's your name?
John Rayson.
Okay. What's the question? Yeah. You're addressing the board, so you can
Okay.
address us
Okay.
and
I just had a
they can
question that
answer.
may determine whether I addressed or not, so.
Okay.
My name is John Rayson. I'm a long-term resident, 4411 Johnson Avenue. I'm here out of concerns for my family's welfare due to the property at 4409 Johnson. That property was inspected in 2009 by our inspectors and determined to be in violation, and basically, in short, it was an illegal cut-up. 2010, the city made a motion on there to repair, and that got tied up in court for years, delayed and tied up in court for years. Come 2015 or 2016, at another meeting, the homeowner declared that he had contractors coming to demolish. That didn't occur, or to demolish the unit in 2016. Anyway, this has been going on. In May, I appeared at the hearing here, and there was an order to demolish that was affirmed. At that point, I came home and I was really pleased because living next to this home has been a problem. I have a 12 and 14-year-old child. They've lived all their life next to this building. It's been abandoned, multiple transient tenants for years, parts falling off the home. It's been abandoned now for over a year. Most of the windows, doors are gone. The roof, there's no roof present on it at all, not even the rafters. Anyhow, so it was slated for demolition is the way I understand it. I'm mostly here to clarify some procedural issues because I'm not sure how this is proceeding. It seems to have fallen through the cracks some. And before I go on, because I'm starting to express some frustration, I would like to thank the members of the board and the city workers of Hammond for what they do. I like living in Hammond. I appreciate Hammond. The only downside I've had living in Hammond is the next door neighbor. The home, the property has degraded my property value and has affected my childhood, their growth, and it's still ongoing, so it's very frustrating for me, but I really appreciate everybody here. I also appreciate the vigor in which I noticed the attorney and the chief and the board seem to represent the interest of the property owner. I appreciate what I saw here today again, but I regress, I'm sorry. So, as far as I understand, it had affirmed a demolition order. I saw it in the announcements in the paper in June that they were taking bids for demolition. I came home on July 3rd, and I see the board up gone, and I see people are working on the house. So I called up the city to see what was going on, and I was advised to come down to the department. Then I was advised they couldn't really tell me anything. I needed to file a FOIA agreement to see if there was proper permitting. I received that, but it's unsigned. It's just a permit, so I was told it's in order, but I can't really verify so much. And I asked who okayed that permit and why was it done, or if they followed procedure as far as a rehab agreement or a bond on it or any such thing, because I've suffered damages from this property in the past or any time they said they were going to do work. So anyhow, I was told to contact Mr. Cook, which I asked if I could speak with him. I was told at that point I should call him, and I did call him, and they were advised me to email him, and I did email him. And after I emailed him, I got a response that said he wasn't sure if I was in the right department, so what was my request. So I wrote down my request, and I haven't heard anything yet. And my basic request is I'm trying to see if things are even following procedure, because this thing has fallen through the cracks for so long, and I'd like to know what is going on and if I'm protected by bond or...
At least I think he's ready to explain what's going on.
I share your frustration. This property has been a nightmare that we dealt with for quite some time. Ms. Cantor can certainly attest to what we've had to go through to this property. It's a 3-unit and illegally converted, court appeal, back and forth. And all that time, we really couldn't enforce anything. We couldn't demolish the house while we were going into court. Once we got out of the court, and no progress had happened, he hired a contractor to do demolition. So we okayed that permit for demolition. It was demolition only. And then that contractor backed out for whatever reasons he was having with the owner. Work stopped. We put it on order to repair demolish this because it wasn't progressing at that point. As often happens, as time runs on, the next thing you know, there comes a contractor that's going to fix the job because I believe they know that we're serious. If this is a repair, we're going to demolish it. So a licensed general contractor from the city came in with plans, presented them to Mr. Cook. Mr. Cook went over to review the plans and said, no, this has got to be done. This has got to be done. These things have to be in place. It's got to come to current code here. Those issues have to be done. So the plans were given back to them to be revised and show that those improvements were going to be in place. Those came back. He reviewed them again. Some things were not right as far as floor joist size and some situations of egress and window sizes and light, and all those things are from current code. So we went under 3 different plan reviews. And the department was told the work was going on. I talked to the contractor, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, and told him that this situation is, there's a lot of pressure on this situation in this house that it is wanting to be demolished. And quite honestly, I'm not against it, other than the fact that we now have a contractor, it's got a permit, it's got plans that are approved to turn this back into a single-family home. I sympathize with the gentleman. I don't want to be, I wouldn't want to be there either. But we do have due process. I just can't tear the house down because we'll end up getting sued and buying a new house. And whatever else comes with that. So, following due process, he's got his plans and he's got a permit pulled. They're working. There is not much I can do to stop that.
Charlie, I know you don't have the file in front of you, but they have a signed rehab agreement?
No, there's an order to demolish that's been entered, but I've never received an inspection, and without an inspection, I can't write a rehab agreement. I'm not a contractor.
Okay.
What kind of happened is, so after the appeal, we win, they pull a permit to start the job. So there was a place on order to repair or demolish. There was a permit pulled for the work. That contractor
To self-demolish.
And then, well, demolish the interior and start repairing.
Okay.
Get everything down to the studs so we can see what needs to be done and go from there. That gentleman walks off, and then another contractor shows up. Then it gets placed on order to repair or demolish. So Mr. Cook has been in, seen the property, and basically his point is, if you follow the plans that were submitted and approved, a rehab agreement, that's basically a rehab agreement.
Are we able to require a rehab agreement on this property?
It is a demolition property, you should require a rehab.
And I think that's what we need to do, so that we can make sure that we're keeping him to a certain time frame. And at the end of that rehab agreement, if we're not seeing progress, then we'll go in.
Write up a report, submit that to Ms. Cantor so we can get that going. I have absolutely no problem, trust me, handing it to that owner personally and saying, sign a rehab agreement. I don't have a problem with that at all. In the meantime, work is progressing, and I don't want to stop if we got a permit and a licensed contractor doing the work.
Is it still the same owner?
Yes.
Well,
May
Ms.
I- may I
Rayson,
com- may I comment on that?
at least with the rehab agreement, there is a time frame placed
Under-
upon the owner.
I understand, but in this situation, a time frame almost seems like a joke to me because this is going on since 2009. Like I said, many, many years. So it appears to me that the rehab agreement was supposed to already been met in a time frame, and it wasn't. So here we go again, slipping through the cracks and giving the guy just another chance, another chance. All this time I lived there. I'm embarrassed to bring company and family over. If you saw this house, you all would know what I mean. There's no windows, no roof, no doors. There's debris. I've been dealing with nails, glass, fiberglass that my children pick up because it blows over because of what shoddy work. Even to this day, for over a year, I've been picking up demolition crap. So saying that, oh yeah, we can do something that we should have already done is very irritating, offensive, and I think in this situation, the city seems to favor, for whatever reason, favor the absentee landlord over the resident homeowner with a family next door. And each time we extend this, especially after a deadline, it makes me want to leave Hammond, and I like Hammond. And I mean, I'm sitting in this end, live next to a dump, or look at College Bound for my kids. The only reason I've stuck it out is because of College Bound, and that's a good program. But living next to a continuous dump is very difficult. And every time it comes up and progress is made, somehow this guy slips through. They didn't meet deadlines. Now, let's extend it again. It's very, very frustrating, and that's why I'm here today.
It's just as frustrating for me, although due process has to be applied. I just can't tear this gentleman's house down because he's taking too long to fix it, when we consider what under big major delay was court actions. Okay, so if I go in there and just tear the house down because he even took us to court, even though we won, I can't do that. The gentleman has the right to due process. We have to go through the process, policies and procedures that we do for every dump. Having a rehab agreement on this, we'll put timelines on it, but trust me, we're gonna have this contractor to the wall. Like I said, I met him in the hallway, and the first thing I brought up was this address and about the work that's going on, and I was cleaning up his work site, because the neighbors should not have to deal with this anymore. So, personal contact with the contractor telling him, you better maintain this site and get this work done. I mean, if it gets to the point where it's not done, we can go through with the demolition order. I can get a rehab agreement, we'll put it in front of him. No problem. Absolutely no problem. But in the meantime, I can't legally stop him from working and doing what we require him to do.
So is there anything being done at all?
There's demolition being done, half the siding's off, most of the windows, the roof was removed, sheathing, rafters, all the roof.
We're still in the demo phase.
It's a very complicated job, and that's why the plan review is so extensive, because when you're changing floor plans and egress issues, stairs, doorways and such, it becomes complicated. You have to have structure, live load, dead load. It is complicated. It takes time to review the plans, it takes time to get those reviews and recommendations on code requirements.
So this is going from a 3-unit back to a single-family home?
That's correct.
I think I'd like to see, and maybe the board would like to see, regular status updates from the owner or the contractor as part of the rehab agreement. I'd like them before us at least to.
I will make the owner responsible for that without a problem. Without a problem. I can understand Mr. Reyes' thinking that we're favoring the owner. But if I don't treat everybody equally, if I am biased to one or the other, trust, this gentleman is no friend of ours. He's dragged this situation out to the point of appeal through the circuit court, I believe it was. So I don't favor this guy as a landlord, but I have to be consistent. I have to follow our policies and procedures for everyone, for the good guys and the bad guys. I can't just, I want revenge on this gentleman. I can't do that. It's not fair, it's not legal, and it's not consistent with what our policies and procedures are.
Well, and I can appreciate the construction there's a crew already hired. And I did mean to intend you personally, when I say the city favors, I didn't mean it, I mean, looking at the history of facts, it appears like I can't get listened to or a break on this, and I have to put up with it every day. The due process point, I actually would like to address, because to me, due process means meeting your deadlines, and they hadn't done that. So to talk well, we need to follow due process is a little still frustrating because we haven't followed due process, because we've already gone out of order in issuing a permit when there wasn't a rehab agreement, in my understanding, and that's kind of what I wanted some clarification on. So we're not following due process, and then now we are. So that's frustrating. You know, I don't know what else to say other than it's really hard living there, really hard.
The first permit was pulled before it was placed on the demolition list. The second permit was pulled in plans review before the first hearing. So in the time it became a file and had a hearing, there was a contractor came in, pulled permit, and started doing work. Okay, so going back and making have a rehab agreement, we have no issue with that. I can get that done. We don't have an inspection report because he hasn't paid for it, because we have plans in front of us that says this is what I'm gonna do.
I think we need to get an inspection and have them pay for it and get a rehab agreement going. I think this was a little bit complicated by the fact that it was in court for a period of time, and sometimes that delays some of our proceedings. But, you know, we obviously don't want to drag you out to the Board of Works meetings every week either, but if you continue to have complaints, I would encourage you to send emails, send notifications to the board. We'll have regular status updates on this particular homeowner and hold them to the rehab agreement, the time frame, and the quality of work that's taking place there.
For the record, we won the appeal in November 15th. January 16th, permit was pulled for the demolition.
Okay.
And then there's other issues that developed.
Well,
It may seem like a long time, but as far as going to the board or going through this process, it's not, the board has seen that many times. It's not a process at all. I'll do the rehab agreement, I will have timelines on it, and we will follow that. I will have that gentleman in front of the board, as soon as we establish what time frame we're at and where the status of the property is.
okay.
You don't have a problem with this gentleman calling you and getting the status update?
That would be nice.
No, it's my hope.
That'd be easier than having to come.
We would like for you to come back when this is all done, hopefully sooner rather than later, and tell us how nice it looks. That's our hope for you.
I've been hoping that thing for
Well,
for a long time. I've been hoping
Sounds like
that.
we're making a little bit of.
And yes, it was tied up in court, but he still owned the property, and he could have made some improvements. There was no care given to the property in that period. So even though it was tied up in court, it was still a dump to live
I would
next to.
think a
No, I
benefit for
understand.
you as a homeowner going forward is it's gonna be a single-family home versus the 3 units.
Progress, I
think
would
that's gonna
appreciate
be a
progress.
plus.
I appreciate progress. I just haven't seen it, so it's, again, tomorrow it's gonna be frustrating, next day it's gonna be frustrating. Just continue, okay? Well, thanks
Okay.
for your time, I appreciate it. Sorry to keep you all so late,
Thank you.
and I don't mind coming back. I come back for my family. This is time I'm doing this for my family. I attempted to make contacts, but
We had to stay here through a 2-hour meeting. So it'd be easier to call Kelly, and if things don't seem to be moving along, you can come to the next
Please do.
meeting after that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to get up and speak? We'd like to recognize Councilman Pete Torres. Hi, Pete. If there's nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.